mentioned in the volunteer section, the group is growing. To date, we've had 34 sessions, 66 guest speakers, 64 past members, and we're over 1,600 current members. So way to go, team. And again, if you know other people who might be interested in joining, please invite them to come along. All are welcome. Great. Any questions before I introduce our guest speaker? Are we ready to start the recording? Yes. Okay. Excellent. Thanks so much. All right. It's with great pleasure I introduce you to Randy Gartz. He is joining us as a manager of talent acquisition. His specialties include recruiting and tech, finance, accounting, HR, legal, and merchandising. So a lot of opportunities there. He has a complete understanding of internal career opportunities for American tire distributors in corporate offices. And he's been an advisor to corporate leaders and prospective job seekers on ATD career opportunities. So welcome, Randy. We are so grateful for your time and talents. And as always, we kick it off by asking you to please share one piece of insider knowledge that many job seekers might not be aware of, but would find incredibly helpful in their search.
Great, and thank you for having me, and hello to everybody this Friday afternoon. Just one clarification, I'm not sure, I see this slide. I actually am the manager of corporate talent acquisition currently for a company called Crete United. I was at American Tire Distributors for over 4 years, and I came to Crete in January. I was recruited to come over here. So I'm currently at Crete, and I can get into that later. But yeah, I think the one thing that seems to be missing in the job search evolution process for the job seeker, two things, frankly, and I know you said one, but I think they go together nicely and really not nicely. One is that many job seekers are applying to a job that's not really what the hiring manager is hiring to. And so the job descriptions are often dated, many times inaccurate, and shifting from the day that they get posted to the day the hiring actually happens. And being inside in corporate for the last 4+ years after working as a headhunter for 28 years on the outside trying to figure this all out, I now know it firsthand. And I think in concert with that is that people that are on a job search oftentimes are doing their best to create a resume that'll match that job description so that they can get looked at in the best possible light by whoever is the first line of defense and screener. And if they don't see the buzzwords or the company names or the industry or technical capabilities, they're probably not going to get considered. Well, in the end of all of that is a hiring manager who may or may not have talked to somebody in talent acquisition anytime recently about what they're looking for. They just used the last job description with the same title. And so now you're miles away from what the hiring manager is looking for. And so hopefully in today's discussion, with the limited time we have, I can address any questions or things or tricks that we can help you with to navigate this crazy maze of finding a job.
Oh, thank you very much. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because there have been a lot of conversations that I've heard lately about don't apply for jobs unless you're an exact match versus, apply for the job if you're a close match versus if it's something that you want to do, apply for it, showing a willingness and eagerness to learn so that you might have an opportunity to try something different. And to hear you mention that sometimes the job description that's posted is outdated and might not be as relevant as one would hope is just makes it even more confusing. So what would you say is a good way for people to try to navigate that?
Well, I have some. I mean, just to give you a little more backdrop. So I was an accountant for 2 years out of school because my father was a public accountant. I thought I was supposed to be an accountant, and I hated it. And so I went to a staffing company to help find me another job, and they actually hired me to run the agency's location in Jacksonville, Florida. And that company was a light industrial staffing firm. And so I was placing large amounts of people on projects in warehouses. And I had never done that before, although I worked at a glass factory for 3 summers where I grew up in New Jersey. So I knew that environment quite well, coupled with an accounting background. And I played college soccer, so I had a lot of speed and hustle. So the manager of that region was like, yeah, I can train you on the business, but you have kind of the attributes I'm looking for. And I was very fortunate that he was giving me the opportunity because I fell in love with it. And I've never stopped recruiting for the last 33 years. Um, and the point of all that is that you're looking for somebody to give you a chance on a job that you may or may not even know you're good at, but they might see something in you, and you have to be open to that. And it's the attributes more than the experience that I believe dictates where most people should be hired. Because if you've already done something, why would you want to do it again when there's something else that might be more exciting for you? And so we're all looking for new challenges, but oftentimes people are looking for jobs in the same exact space as they did before, and they go back and do it the same exact way the last time they did it. And so to navigate today's world, I would be on the side of first networking, and I'm talking 60 to 90 days of networking before you ever apply for a job, because you're way more likely, probably 10 times more likely to get a job by somebody referring you in and not having the resume as the tool to decide if you are worthy of an interview or not. And networking takes a lot of faces. That's your next door neighbors, that's former employers and coworkers, that's family members, that's friends, that's the local restaurant or bar owner who you frequent, and making sure they're aware, and getting everybody to have an idea that, hey, my friend Alice is actively considering a new opportunity. I hear a lot in my restaurant, oh, wait, you should call my friend Alice. She's good at that. And so that just speeds up the process to get in front of the hiring manager. And you get a much clearer look at the discussion. It's not sitting in a conference room across the table where the resume explanation and tribunal begins. It's much more of a discussion. Um, and so finding a job is a job, of course. It's full time for most people, and it requires a lot of networking, and it'll expand your people skills very quickly or expose them equally as quickly. Um, I think the other piece is to ask the closest people to you who you trust and think has your heart in their hand, what their honest opinion of you as a person, as a professional, as a neighbor, as a sister, any version of that, to really get some tangible feedback about how am I perceived in the market, so that you can A, be aware of it, and B, make sure that you look to improve in the areas that maybe somebody feels is a good opportunity for you for personal growth.
Great, thank you. All right, Jimmy, now we'll open it up for others to ask questions. So